everybody, welcome back, and look who's with me.
Hi.
Episode 19, can you believe it?
I cannot.
It's unbelievable that we're on episode 19. Now, you've brought goodies.
I have brought goodies.
What have you got for us? We are a show sponsored by who?
Subscribers.
Subscribers, yes. And so you've got some stuff for the subscribers. Whoa.
Look at that.
I see that very well. Thanks for that.
See.
Woo! Look at that, people.
Stunning.
Look, Joe, really take a look at this stuff, man.
Look at this.
As you're going through the book there, you can take a look at all the images. So we have created some special subscriber issues of Jump Point. These are the things you're going to get at the end of the year that show you it's the level of detail. It's just beautiful. I mean, I could not believe how good that looks.
You like it, huh?
I do. I like it a lot. And they're going to get that, right?
Yes. That is going to go out at the end of the year to all the subscribers.
Wow.
So I'm doing it ahead of time.
Those are going to be collectibles, I would think.
They will be.
So if you want to be a what?
Subscriber.
A subscriber? Well, you mean I can't get that? I've got to be a subscriber, right, to get that.
This is very complicated dialogue you have here.
I know. Well, yeah, we keep it to where I can understand it.
Right.
So listen, folks, we've got the week in review this week. We've got forum feedback with your videos, some really good stuff answered by somebody we both know and might work for. Do you think they know who that is? I think so. We have wide world news, and we have an interview with BHVR. Montreal's a huge week at Cloud Imperium. So we'll get right to it. We have, it's been a big week for us this week, right? I mean, with the Aurora promotion and everything going on. How's that going?
Very busy in my inbox.
Yes, it is.
Very busy in my inbox. Between me and Brittany and Pete.
Yeah.
And a couple others helping out. But we're still swamped. But it's great. Thank you to everybody who has been helping us and the new peeps.
That's right.
I hear we have quite a few new peeps.
Isn't that great? New peeps.
Which is great. That's what we...
Makes our game bigger, makes more people to play with, play against. It's a better deal overall.
Exactly.
Now, how much longer does this promotion go on? How long?
Saturday midnight PST.
Saturday midnight PST. So if you want to get your special Auroras, get on the book, baby, and get it out there.
I got one.
You got one?
I did. I did get one.
The Simon bought he had 59 ships. Did he get a couple extra?
Well, I saw a whole forum thread about him buying all the add-ons. I don't know if he bought 59 of them.
Thanks again, Simon.
I don't want to be blamed for Simon's
I know, right? I know. What was that about?
Hey.
Crazy. But he's a good guy. He's one of our favorite things. So we've got Chris and Sandi, obviously, in town. We've got John Erskine and David Swafford started this week with us. Okay. Yeah, we got 2 more people here. Montreal Behavior came into town. You'll see a little bit about that with some interviews later. And we have Fan Focus with Nathan Cromwell. You got to check this out. This is pretty cool.
It's busy.
Hey everybody, welcome to the new segment, Fan Focus, with one of my new favorite fans ever. He's Yoshi on the boards. It's Nate Cromwell, right?
Yeah, you got it.
Cool. So why don't you tell everybody how you got involved in Star Citizen? What brought you here?
Well, I was watching the thing that Chris Roberts did at the conference where he was describing. He's this guy. He makes these games. Pew pew.
Pew pew. Oh, pew pew. Of course.
Pew pew.
Right on.
And I thought he was just going to speak about the fact that kind of reflect on the industry, but he was releasing a game that was in development that he was starting a fund for. So I control-tabbed over and as quickly as possible started throwing money at the screen. Unfortunately, I was one of the guys who helped crash the servers.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about that.
It kept getting slower and slower, and I was like, should I keep hitting refresh?
No, I think thousands of people were doing it at the same time. Hopefully what was happening is your credit card was being charged each time you did that. Have you played Chris Roberts' games before? What?
I played all of the Wing Commander series, and I never played Freelancer, so I'm going back through now and playing Freelancer. There's a 1080 mod on it, so you can actually go and play the game in 1080p.
Nice.
And there's all sorts of, because I really, after the last Wing Commander, drifted away from the Origin games, but then when that one, when I came back to that one, there's just so much of a community that's still there for the Freelancer game. You have an interesting profession. You're a lighting director. Correct, for concerts. Yeah.
And you're here in Austin for what exactly?
I'm the lighting director for Carrie Underwood currently.
Carrie Underwood.
He's a big fan.
I am a big fan of Carrie Underwood. I mean, she's incredibly talented. So, and you've been more than generous with us. You've given 8 tickets to some of the crew here in Austin.
Yep.
To go check out the event. And so let's take a look at that Carrie Underwood show.
Hey, thanks again, Nate. You fans are awesome, man. We love you all.
Thanks, Nate. It was great.
Wow, that was amazing. I mean, I know that Brian had a great time, Mike and Mark and the girls. Really, really nice of you.
Yeah, they had a lot of fun.
Want to thank you very much for showing us what you do, for making us feel, I mean, it's amazing. I think one of the things that's cool about being in the community is we're all sort of intertwined.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? We're all, a lot of the community we're all tech heads.
Of all the video games that I have followed before they actually get to full production, I've never felt more like in a community as I do with this one. Both in the forums, with everything peripheral sites around this,
Right.
it's one of the. Plus, we get a sneak peek of how the video games get developed.
That's true.
Which is something that we've, me as a fan, and I know a lot of other people have always wanted to see, but don't have the access to.
Well, we're happy to do that. I mean, that's what we're here about. That's why we are. That's why we're so connected. We're kind of reaching out and having a virtual handshake with the fans, because then you guys are help driving the game, making it better. So for that, I thank you. Fan Focus, Nate Cromwell, Yoshi. And if you want to get a longer glimpse at what Nate does and his really, really cool job, because we like tech heads here, we're all kind of tech heads, Michael Moreland interviewed him. Check him out at the comm link right there to get a little better view. Ooh, I'm good. So now you know what we have to do? We have to look at Wingman's weight. Oh, that's right. I started, as everyone knows, in the universe at 236 pounds. Last week, I dropped all the way down to 222. This week, 220. This week, I'm all the way down to Yeah, I only lost 1 pound this week. But, to be fair, Montreal was in town, and even though I did the low-carb thing, I still ate fairly well and drank a couple, and that slows it down a bit. We're still on track, though. Whew. Anyway, so now I want to bring out our own last week's Hot Topics has been redacted. Brittany Godfrey with her new MVP. Take it away, Brittany.
Thanks, Eric. This week, everyone's a winner when Zane posted his forum thread, Chris's badass walk through the LA office. Like any good meme, this starts out with a harmless photo, then somebody defiles it. So far, Chris has been cited in over 50 mashup threads. Our own Sandi Gardner got some meme love, too. Some of you have a little too much time on your hands, Walter? Thanks to everyone and Zane for their badass pick. You're our most valuable post this week. Back to you, Eric.
Thanks, Brittany. And if you want to join in the fun, go to the forums. Oh my God. Look who's here. Straight from the forums. Unbelievable. How you doing, man?
Hi, everyone.
Well, since you're here, why don't we answer some, forum feedback.
Forum feedback.
Exactly. Let's get right to it. All right, from Lord Atris, he says, I am coming to the end of my software engineering course and was wondering if you guys will be doing any graduate placements or junior development placements.
Actually, we're quite keen on starting sort of an intern program, so both in Austin and Los Angeles. So reach out to us, and our idea would be to sort of have young, talented people come in, intern, and then hopefully maybe that turns into a starting position, and you become part of the small but very talented team we have here.
The Cloud Imperium Cloudites, or whatever, I guess. That didn't really work.
Yeah, no, we need a better name.
We're not going to call it Cloudites.
Yeah.
We'll pew-pew that one, right?
Yeah, pew-pew.
From Miggins, he says,
Wingman mentioned Fraps use recently. Does this mean we will only be able to take video footage of things we see ourselves? Or can we have a track record option, where we can change cameras and viewpoints when editing our footage, as in Rise of Flight?
That is a very good question. We haven't fully decided quite how our camera recording setup is going to work. So depending on how it's implemented, potentially you'll be able to cut between angles. I think generally the way you should think about it is you could capture your play just as a stream and then you could replay that for other people. But we may have an ability where we we would basically record what's happening with the different objects, ships, etc. And in that case, we probably would allow you to switch cameras, although that hasn't been implemented, so I can't necessarily promise it for the initial live release.
So maybe confirmed, maybe redacted.
Yeah, so we're between the two.
Exactly. From I Am Weasel, interesting name, says, will we be able to pledge for different versions of other ships, such as the 300i, like the Aurora and the Aurora LX?
Yes, absolutely. So we're definitely going to make all the ship. Think of it like modern world where you have different models, even like aircraft. There's different versions of an F-18. There's a Super Hornet and the basic, and they have the sort of trainer rolls and all the rest. So we will definitely have that on all our ships. And think of those as sort of like pre-configured packages for you, but there's nothing to stop you from buying the base model or even one of the sort of pre-configured models and then switching and changing it to exactly customizing it to the way you want with additional items, avionic packages, shields, weapons, all the rest of that stuff. So think of that as just sort of for ease of convenience of playing. So some people don't want to deal with configuring and setting it up just the same way you would just buy a Dell computer to play, or you may want to order all the parts from Newegg and build your own computer. So we sort of allow you those two options.
Yeah, and you may actually change configurations based on your mission parameters. So we're going to let you really guss it up.
Definitely. I actually think that there will be cases where players will have like setups. They'll have their dogfighting setup, and they'll have their trading setup, and they'll have their courier setup, or they'll have their exploration setup for the same hull. And we're going to let you sort of pre-configure them. And then when you go back to your hangar, you can say, okay, I want to put my dogfighting setup as sort of like a profile that you've saved for your ship,
hotkey or something like that.
Yeah, so essentially, you should be able to sort of profile those out and then change your ship out depending on kind of what your role is. So that's kind of part of the concept. I think it's just going to add a lot of like detail and nuance, and so it's going to be about essentially how you equip your ship for your specific mission.
Right. From Kill Slim, he says,
"Hello, Wingman. My question is about missiles. Will we be able to use unconventional tactics to avoid missiles outside of countermeasures, such as evasive maneuvers or even obstacles like asteroids, debris, or even other ships to counter trailing missiles?"
Definitely. It's just pretty. If there's a asteroid or another ship and you manage to fly in the way and the missile can't turn fast enough, then it's going to hit the asteroid or it's going to hit the ship. So if you're a really good pilot, you should be able to do some of that stuff you see in the movies. But also countermeasures and everything else work really well. But it's all physically simulated, so all that should actually sort of fall out of the system.
Right. From Dunban, he says, will there be some kind of practice area where we can test our guns and practice boarding scenarios?
So there's definitely going to be. So our kind of concept is sort of in the spirit of the original Wing Commander, where there was a arcade game sitting in the pilot's mess that you could play to sort of practice just flying around. So we're definitely going to have a simulator section in your hangar, so you can go and sort of practice dogfighting. I don't know about the first-person boarding combat stuff. We haven't really discussed that, so that may or may not happen. I don't know about that. But definitely in the plan, you will be able to sort of do a simulation of dogfighting scenarios to practice your dogfighting skills before you end up having to put your real ship on the line.
Kind of like a virtual firing range or something of that nature.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, cool. From Mr. Serling.
Hello there, Wingman. Mr. Serling here. With the upcoming 24-hour live stream, I was wondering if the CIG team would be interested in broadcasting some community-made content during the event. Content such as fan trailers, unofficial soundtrack pieces, fanfic readings, skits, video questions, original artwork, and of course, love poems. I believe this would help to make the most out of our 24 hours in the Twilight Zone.
Wow, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, cool stuff.
Yes, no, definitely. So I mean, that would be part of the whole idea of the 24-hour live events is really just having fun with all you guys out there. So absolutely, we want to have as much fan-made content as part of it. I mean, first of all, there's only so much we can fill the 24 hours with. But I just think that's the whole spirit of what we're doing, making this game, making it with you guys. So we're actually always constantly amazed by like how cool and clever all the stuff that you guys send into us, and so we want to highlight that. And looking at things like the spaceships you guys are all building and designing. I mean, that stuff's awesome. So yeah, that's all part of the spirit. It's part of the spirit of the game. So 100%, yep.
Okay, from Jay Jung, he says, I've heard that walking around, even out of combat, will always be in first person. Is this true, or are we going to be able to choose which point of view we want to use, out of combat at least?
It's a good question. Yeah. So generally it's first person. I'm kind of big on the immersion on that side. I'm sort of debating. There will be moments when you do things either on your ship or walking around that it will cut out to third person for like cinematic sort of highlights of moment, walking it, like you walk up to a building, go in through a door, first person, and maybe it cuts to a third person view, seeing your character walk in the room, the camera spins around and zooms right into your sort of viewpoint again. So we're going to kind of do those sort of things. I'm debating, I don't know whether we'll let you just always switch out to a third person view when you're walking around. When you're flying around in space, you definitely can always switch to a chase camera view and see the beauty of the ship and all the rest of the stuff. And also you'll have those elements where I was talking about, like if you deploy missiles, we'll have a thing where it'll cinematically cut outside so you can see your missiles deploy, and it'll do that the first time you deploy missiles. And of course, if you want to just switch off that sort of cinematic feature, you can. But we definitely want to highlight how beautiful all the characters, spaceships, the environments and locations will be. But I haven't 100% decided on the ground whether we will let you just run around, walk around in a third-person view as well as a first-person view. So you'll see some of it, maybe not all of it. Maybe you will. I'll reserve the decision on that down the road. But
they'll be able to have feedback too. They'll be able to, when they're doing the hangar, they can tell us, what they like and don't.
Yeah. I mean, I think we'll probably definitely let you in the hangar see a third person because the character's kind of cool. Yeah. So we'll probably end up doing something like that. But I just 100% haven't decided. It's sort of more an immersion thing on story yet. But like I said, I do like to show off how beautiful the art that everyone here is making. So
it is stunning. And they're seeing a lot of that too, and on the comm links. If you're not checking out the comm links, you need to go to our website. We do about 10 updates a week, and there's some really, really nice stuff coming up these days. From Spiderhack, he says,
how big are jump points? Because I'm hoping that they are large enough to allow lots of trade and not much camping.
Well, I think it sort of depends on the jump point. It also depends on where you're going to be in terms of space. In terms of the sort of camping on the jump points, we're going to try our best to sort of avoid the ability for people to necessarily camp out and just destroy people. So there isn't one standard exit position when you come out of a jump point. You'll sort of get spit out in a general area near the space anomaly. So you probably won't have the same ability of being able to camp on a spot as you would have done, say, in another game that has one specific exit point. And we're pretty conscious of that. I mean, we want this to be fun. So but that will all be part of when we get in and when you guys start playing in the universe and we're testing it all together. We're going to balance that level of fun. So there needs to be some level of constriction where you could control people coming into a system, but not to the point where you jump in and you get blasted before you can even
spawn camping or something.
Yeah, before you can even power up your shields or whatever.
Right.
So that's still to be balanced, but we're gonna err on the side of making it fun without making it too safe.
Exactly.
So,
From Scrambled Legs, that's a good name. The Star Citizen universe is full of history. In the Aurora brochure, the Aurora is specifically called 2943 Aurora Model Spacecraft. Other ships such as the Constellation Mk3 and ancient RSI Zeus and X7 and the aging Retaliator. Will older and newer models of ships be released as time goes on? Wow.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So part of the goal is to have, I think I talked about before, the idea of this living universe that carries on. So even once we're live, we will be releasing new kinds of spaceships and even new models of existing spaceships. So just like today, you know, in the real world, there's the 2013 edition of this car or that car, and you know, every 2 or 3 years they do a revamp of, you know, a common, you know, like, so you've been able to buy I don't know, like Ford Focuses for a while, but you know, the Ford Focus you buy today isn't necessarily the same as the Ford Focus you bought 5 years ago. So that will definitely be the case on our ship. So, you know, the one we did the Aurora brochure was the 2943 edition of the Aurora, and down the road that probably would get revamped by RSI, maybe change a little bit, maybe have some new equipment, and then on top of that we'll also have newer ships that will be coming to the marketplace. So it's always, the idea is it's sort of meant to be like the real world where new products are coming to market, and also in the game, you know, you won't be able to buy them at any just one everywhere. Like some of them you'll have to go to this part of the galaxy where this, you know, you've just heard there's this new cool ship and it's got some cool new features, but it's only built by the shipyard over on, you know, this corner of the galaxy, so you would fly over there to buy it, you know. And some of the bigger ships will, you know, different ships take different times to produce. So, you know, if you want to buy, like, I don't know, something that would be akin to a Corvette in the game, well, they don't make a lot of those, so you may even have to, like, pay your money and wait some game turns for it before it's ready, and then they'll send you a message saying, okay, your ship's now ready to be picked up. So it's going to be kind of cool. We're going to have supply and demand even on the ship manufacturer in the universe. And so, like I said, some of the ships will be more scarce than other ones, and I think it will make some pretty interesting game dynamics.
Cool. From This Is What Happens.
I think the default's going to be like Star Wars or Star Trek, where you have all the cool pew pew sound effects.
I think that should be actually in the game. Pew pew.
Pew pew. Pew pew. Pew 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 pew. Well, I mean, the core inspiration of it's pretty cool.
We need some more manly pew-pews.
Pew 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 pew. But no, the core inspiration of the dogfighting is sort of obviously that sort of Star Wars or Battlestar Galactica style, you know, really World War II in space. So a fair amount of the maneuvers and stuff that you'll pull will be sort of inspired by that kind of stuff, although obviously that's for atmospheric flight versus we're in space. So we're going to have some extra stuff and nuances that will be only things that you could pull off in the sort of situation that you would be in space, and we're probably going to add some new ones which are part of like the extra detail or wrinkles that we're sort of adding with what we're doing with Star Citizen, where we just, you know, have a lot more kind of, you know, compared to Wing Commander, I think it's got the same basic fun and ease of use to play, but if you really want to get into it, you can start to like tweak it and add some stuff that you could never have done on the original Wing Commanders, and so we're going to go that way. So I would say generally it's kind of World War II-ish, but there'll be some other things that maybe you haven't seen or haven't experienced in the old Wing Commanders or even Freelancer.
Cool. From Black Friar, he says, seeing as many of the ship designs, the Connie, the Aurora, and the Freelancer, for example, have beds, galleys, and such, will things like sleep and food play any part in the game?
Yeah,
we're making a sleep game.
Yeah.
I hope they don't fall asleep.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have a nod to them for just the sake of it being fun, but we're not simulated at a point where you have to like sleep 8 hours for every 24 hours that you're playing in game, because obviously that's not much fun, or you have to eat to keep your health up. But we'll let you, like, in your ship, you can sit, you know, you can like go back to your cabin and lay down, and you know there'll be, you know, like that shot we did in the brochure where your character's laying in the sort of space bed in the Aurora is definitely something you'll be able to do. And on other ships, so like there's a kitchen in the Constellation, you should be able to go up and make yourself a cup of coffee in the kitchen.
It's environmental interaction kind of stuff.
Yeah, environmental interaction. I mean, just stuff to just sort of make it feel more real, like things have a purpose and they do, and you know, so and we may play with some of that stuff in the future. Maybe there's a gourmet delicacy on a planet, and you can go buy it, and your character will eat it and go, that tastes nice. But it's not. It won't be sort of gameplay necessary, as in you need to fuel yourself every so many game turns or anything like that. But environmental, make it fun, make the world seem more alive, definitely.
So no Star Chef the
No.
Facebook game.
No.
This is a really cool video from Austin AD. He says,
Hey. What are you reading? Nothing. You're not reading ahead, are you? Hi Wingman, Awesome AD here. Today I've got a multifaceted question for you that I've broken down into 3 parts. First of all, will there be a novelization of Squadron 42 and potentially other tie-in novels, junior novels, graphic novels, or, God forbid, romance novels? Second question, a lot of effort's being made to put a lot of physical detail into the game universe. We've been getting a lot of awesome fiction on the website itself, so how much of this will carry over into the game itself? Will it be full libraries of alien history and fiction to discover, or will it be limited to item descriptions and news stories? As I explore the galaxy, will I be able to find and collect documents and books and fiction from various worlds I visit and read them while I'm sitting in autopilot? Third, will some of the in-game fiction be useful in various manners, such as learning tactics and procedures that could help me against certain aliens, or finding lucrative trade runs or mining resources?
pretty
wow.
cool. Yeah.
That was awesome. Well done. I guess Awesome AD has a very appropriate name.
Yeah, that's right.
So there's a lot of questions there, but let me just try. We have
sure. We got a note.
cheat sheet.
That's
here.
all right. Well, there'll be a novelization of Squadron 42.
But yeah, no. So we're definitely going to do novelizations of the Squadron 42 and other aspects of the game. I mean, we actually already have novelists like Doug Niles, who's well known for doing D&D and has novelizations like New York Times bestseller list and stuff, is working doing fiction for Jump Point, and we've got a bunch of other authors on tap. So we'll definitely do that. So that's in there. The characters in that we've been doing on the website and some of these sort of in the fiction that you've been reading is deliberately designed to introduce characters and gameplay and concepts that are going to be in the game. So you will run across Cal Mason, you will run across Kid Crimson, and some of the things they do. Not all of them, because obviously we sort of broaden it out a little bit when we're writing, but a lot of the stuff that we sort of explore there will be elements of game and gameplay, which sort of ties into one of the later questions, which is there going to be in fiction sort of learning of how to fight and fly your ship and everything? And absolutely, I mean, so for me that's a much more immersive way to do it. So I would rather it all happen in fiction. So in fact, like normally on our website, when we sort of try and introduce game mechanics, we're kind of doing them sort of in some of the in fiction, like the one-shot shipping news and stuff like that David Haddock's been writing. So we're definitely doing that on our website, and it will also extend into the game. So my approach for the game is like even when you're running the tutorial, it does not feel like it's a tutorial. It just sort of feels like, okay, I've joined up and I'm going to boot camp now because I'm signing up for the Navy. I want to be a Navy aviator, and you've got to go through that course, and that teaches you how to fly and use your ship, and then you get into the actual combat and the stories later on. It should all be holistic to the universe and the story. So that is all like a big goal and drive. It's one of the reasons why we spent, like the brochure is another example of really good sort of in fiction stuff. So yeah, we could have that like as a page on our website that says, okay, here's the Aurora and here's its stats, but we're trying to dress it up and be like, okay, this is, imagine you go into this future showroom and the sales guy's like, hey, you need the Aurora 2943 model. The LX is perfect for you. That for me that's kind of the world I want to play in, exist in. I kind of I want to blur the line between it feeling like a game and it just feeling like a to be try a second life, so to speak. And I think if that can happen, that'll be brilliant. I think we've got one more that I've missed out there, which is the libraries of alien history and fiction.
Exactly.
And So there's definitely going to be a case of collecting artifacts and items around the galaxy. Not necessarily sure so much it'll be books that you can go back later and read, but there will definitely be in-game sort of information that you unlock, and then sort of in your in-game Galactopedia you'll be able to get those entries and stuff. So there'll be some of that, but there's definitely going to be artifacts and items that you need to find by gameplay and exploring around the universe, and then we're going to let you sort of collect them. So when you have your private space, whether it's in your hangar or you get some other, like your own apartment or in your spaceship, you should be able to sort of have almost items that are, instead of like the console, like here's my, trophy or award that you get. For me in the game, what would be cool would be different things that you sort of collected because you've done missions or gone to these corners of the galaxy, and then you can sort of look at what you've got sitting on your dashboard or what you've got sitting in your hangar and go, okay, yeah, I went here, I was part of this battle, I did that. And so that's kind of, that's sort of where our thinking is on that. And I think, again, that's another sort of push towards being as immersive as possible.
Physical diary kind of thing. Very, very
physical,
cool
yeah, absolutely.
Very, very cool.
And an in-fiction diary, right? So in-fiction rewards, and it's like that. Even in the original Wing Commander, you went in and you got the medals, and they were in your locker, and they were medals that you were awarded for missions you were flying. It wasn't some sort of arbitrary sort of gaming awards.
Right, you get 200 kills, you get a thing. Yeah. It's not that way at all. You earn it. Cool. Well, that's it, man. That's the forum feedback. So
time to go back to work. Put my shades back on. There we go. Get the put. Ready to go?
Yeah. What the heck?
Cue the explosion and go from there. All right. See you guys.
Thanks. All right, now it's time for Wide World News. Sir Richard Branson and the Virgin Galactic team keep stepping up to the plate and hitting it out of the park. This Monday, their SpaceShipTwo successfully completed the first rocket flight test, and they broke the sound barrier in the process. Well done, Virgin Galactic.
Eight and a half years ago when we embarked on this program, I would never have thought that it was going to take us 8.5 years to reach this milestone. And I think it just proves just how difficult rocket science really is. It is strange to think that only 500 people have been into space. And our dream is to ultimately enable many kids who are watching this program to be able to go into space. And I think we can make that dream become reality.
Today we achieved a huge milestone for the company, which was that we broke the speed of sound and we had our first powered flight, and the team is just incredibly jazzed. We are now off to the races in terms of powered flight. So this was the first powered flight. We'll have a few more this year as we extend the burn times and as we approach our first space flight, and then what comes after that is commercial service.
Congratulations. Well done. Congratulations. Another milestone. Huh? Fantastic. Yeah.
And now we'll be ramping up the building of spaceships. We'll be ramping up the building of motherships. We'll be ramping up the building of rockets. It's going to be the start of a whole new era of space travel. It's going to be tremendously exciting. Everything's possible, I think, after today.
If they fire that rocket just a little bit longer, guess where they're going to be? In space. A little closer to home on Terra, our own weekly weather wizard, Peter Mackey, is there. How's the weather, Pete?
It's f***ing gorgeous here. What do you want from me? I'm gonna go have a drink.
Well, we all like a little drink every now and then. And that's your wide world news. And now, some hazy thoughts with our very own Mark Skelton.
So what do people in China call their good plates?
As we mentioned earlier in the show, our Montreal partners, BHVR, are in town. So I got a chance to sit down with them and get to know them a little bit better. It's a really big week this week in Cloud Imperium. We've got BHVR in town. That's right, the Montreal studio is going to be chugging along. And guess what? They're here. The first 4 of the citizens to help us are here. So why don't you guys introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself, why you want to work on this project, things like that. So who are you?
So I'm Mathieu Beaulieu. I'm going to be a manager in Montreal, helping the guys, making sure they're on track and on schedule. I started in the video games like back in 2003 and played before that Wing Commander, which was an amazing experience for me. So when I saw that there was an opportunity to work on Star Citizen, I just jumped on it.
Cool.
Force you guys to hire me.
That's right. Actually, we interviewed you up there, I think in November or something, and fell in love with you and said, in love in a general sense, and said, we got to have you. So welcome aboard, sir.
Hey, how are you, Eric? My name is Miguel. I'm the head of studio for BHVR Online. I'm the ex-CEO for Funcom Canada.
Right.
So my role at BHVR is to create the online studio, which I brought my main team from Funcom back to BHVR now, working on Star Citizen. The reason why I'm in game, I've been in game I've been playing games all my life, but I've been a tech CEO all my life until I joined Funcom and I had the chance for once to work on the product that I love. And since then I've been I've been told that as an executive, I'm the most expensive QA. I'm the most expensive mocap artist because I do all the martial art mocap for Conan and for a lot of the other games. And I'm mostly a very hardcore player.
Hey, listen, if he's going to do mocap up there, we can have you do mocap on Star
Citizen.
Pleasure. Why can't we have ninjas in Star Citizen ninjas? So speaking of mocap, you've got... and all the karate and stuff that you do, why would you be doing that? You've got a little something interesting in your past. Why don't you let our audience know?
I've all my life, the only sport I've ever done is martial arts, is Taekwondo. So I won the Olympics in Barcelona in 1992.
The Olympics?
So, as a demonstration sport.
Cool.
And I'm 40 years old. I've been doing Taekwondo since I'm 5, so I've been doing it for 35 years now. My father is the Grand Master, is a Korean guy, the one that brought Taekwondo to North America in 1962. He's the Olympic coach for the Canadian team. And that's the only sport I've ever done. Don't ask me to swim. Don't ask me to play basketball or anything like that. I suck. But Taekwondo, I'm pretty good.
Well, fortunately, we'll just ask you to help us make a badass game.
Fantastic.
Sir.
So, hi, I'm Christian Lavoie. I'm our artistic technical director up at BHVR in Montreal. My background, I used to work at Sony making PlayStation games, so Wipeout and back in the day, Colony Wars, which was like a space shooting game, and that all my friends back there are just really jealous of the fact I'm getting to work on Star Citizen because they've been really aching to make another Colony Wars all this time. So I kind of get the closest of the bunch. So
cool.
Look forward to that.
Awesome. And this next guy, he's really excited to be here. So take a deep breath. Yeah. You're on camera. There's literally 5s of people watching. So, actually, there's more than that. So who are you and what are you doing for us?
My name is Corentin Cheval. I'm a concept artist. And I'm doing illustration for Star Citizen.
And people will recognize your stuff because we've already released some of it on the website. That really, really badass space station, the circular space station, that's you, right?
Yeah, that's me. And the first concept art we saw before the Kickstarter campaign.
The one that's in 3D, where we've taken it to 3D, was also you. So you guys have already seen some of his stuff. He's really, really good. And now we're doing what? What are you doing with you guys? What's the first step we're doing?
So we'll be starting to work on the planet side gameplay. So Stanton is the first universe system that we'll be building up. Can't wait to go back to Montreal and work on it.
Yep.
We're getting all the information here, how to make it...
business meetings.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Only business meeting. But yeah, it's as soon as early next week, we'll be starting to build it up. Corentin will be doing more illustration for us so we can conceptualize the universe the best way possible.
Eric, maybe as well we'll help you as a consultant on the French side of Star Citizen.
Oh, no doubt about it. Because you know what, we have a lot of French fans,
Yeah.
and well, I can't speak any French. So who wants to say something to the Star Citizen fans?
À tous les fans de Star Citizen, l'équipe de BHVR, on va s'assurer que le jeu soit très bien localisé en français et que vous avez un grand plaisir à jouer dans votre langue natale.
And my wife, if you're watching, turn it off. So they're going to be building one of the very first systems in the game, the Stanton system. I think there's a few planets there, lots of places to land, lots of places to see. Check out a little bit about the Stanton system on the comm link. You won't regret it. It's really, really cool. So that's kind of the show this week. We want a special thanks to Behavior for joining us, Chris and Sandi for coming by the hangar and sitting in. We want to thank subscribers and pledgers. Without subscribers, we wouldn't be able to do this really, really cool show. And without pledgers, well, I think we all know we would not be doing this game. So thanks to everybody, and thanks to all the new ones who've joined us. Really, really appreciate it. Help us spread the word. Get out there, tweet, Facebook. The more people we have on the site, the better the game becomes. We want to thank Logante, who did a little reorchestration of the music that Matt Fossa did for us. He took the synthesized music and created an orchestral version. Check that out in the end credits. Coming up next week, the Aurora promotion ends this Saturday. You only have a little more than 24 hours, midnight PST, to get in on it. Hangar Hangout with Forrest Stephan. We have an interview. A guest is Brittany Godfrey. That's right. She's going to sit right next to me in the hot seat. Our own MVP, Brittany Godfrey. And we want you to get out there and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Help us spread the word. We want to grow this sucker. Get people out there. Let them know what's going on in the Star Citizen world. This is about us growing something really cool together. The more folks we have to play the game, the better the game's going to be. Help us spread the word. Tweet, Facebook, Google+, whatever you want. Hell, pick up the old phone and give them a call. See what happens. Sorry about the word. All right. Thanks, guys. Oh, one last thing I really want to ask you. Let's all tweet Nathan Fillion and tell him we want him to do a voice in this game. If you don't know who Nathan Fillion is, Google him. Nathan Fillion. Come on to the Hangar Show and be a voice in Star Citizen. That'd be great. See you in the verse.
We have a present here from Jet Black 357 and Doji Iti. You better be careful. Oh, you can't. It's a doll.
A blow-up doll.
We hope this will help you develop better for Star Citizen. All right, well there you go, Eric. Where's Mark? Yeah,
this is definitely a Mark Skelton. So the fans have sent us something special, and we think nobody else in the whole company would be good enough to open it but you. You ready?
Am I ready? Am I ready?
You are ready. You're always ready. Here you go.
I knew it! I knew it! I always wanted this! Thank you, Academy!
Really? She's all shrivelly. Nobody better be left alone in this office.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it every morning and make sure that it hasn't been defiled. Oh God.